All right, guys, I'm trying something different today. Try a different setup here, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get these videos started. I ain't gonna waste no time chit chatting. You guys know, please like, thumbs up, subscribe, the usual. But let's get into it.
Emergency and authorization for temporary duty, free importation of phosphate fertilizer from Morocco. This look,
You guys stock up on it. Your family needs to eat.
I'm telling y'all. Y'all see this? Hey y'all, I'm gonna let you guys know right now. This is on the White House page. Declaration of Emergency and Authorization for Temporary Duty, Free Importation of Phosphate Fertilizer from Morocco. This literally translates to a food emergency. And then I went on the blockchain and I saw that the United States Food Reserve got established around the same time Donald Trump called the national emergency. And here it is right over here. I positioned myself early and it has been going up. I guarantee you this thing is going to go parabolic. This is not financial advice, y'all. This is how I do my research. You guys want to check this out? Everything for this will be pinned in the comments below, man. You guys see it. Y'all see what was happening with the dots, man. This is the digital age. Let's continue to get it. Peace in. Look.
How you guys feel about that? So far, we got the United States Water Reserve. Now we got the Food Reserve. It does seem like there's something big going on that's behind the scenes where we don't know, but time will tell. I'd like to know more about the whole situation with our digital currency. I haven't heard much else about that.
New York is a no-fault state. Most states are now no-fault states, which means you don't have to prove why you're getting divorced. You don't have to have fault. It used to be you had to show adultery, you had to show incurable mental illness, you had to call abandonment. So it was great for lawyers because we had to, before we even got into the real fight, we had to get into a fight of, are you allowed to get divorced? Okay. No. So the states eventually said, look, this is stupid. If one person in the marriage has decided the marriage is over, guess what? The marriage is over. So now we're no fault. Yeah. Well, a lot of people on the far right, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, it was like their big flavor of the moment for a little while was they were saying no fault divorce is the worst thing in the whole wide world.
Because it incentivizes divorce in a way?
Well, it's kind of like saying, we got to get rid of all these emergency rooms because everybody who's in there has broken bones. So people must be breaking bones so they can go to the emergency room. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that logic.
No, they didn't break it. This is just there to solve the problem. But I said to Matt is, look, why wouldn't we have? Yeah. Why would you have barriers to exit? Why don't you have barriers to entry? Yeah. Why don't you have to take a class, or you have to sit down with a person who went through an ugly divorce, or like Catholics, they have the pre-Cana where you got to sit down and you talk to couples who've been married for 30, 40 years. And the guy says, look, you're going to have to say, I'm sorry for some shit you're not sorry for. That's part of being married. And you go, all right, cool. I can live with that. Have some barriers to entry. I adopted a dog from ACC in New York City. You know how much paperwork I had to fill out? They wanted to know my third grade English teacher's name. They wanted to know, did Mrs. Soyble, does she think you'd be good? She hadn't seen me in 40 years. You need to have you want a piss test? I'm adopting a dog you were going to kill in 2 days. Just give me the dog. Get married, $50, you can pay Elvis in Vegas and you're married.
You guys, anybody in the chat go through a divorce with a no-fault state? I know here in Indiana, I went through my divorce, and it was like I had to go to court 7 different times because the judge didn't want to grant a divorce. Like he said, the courts are encouraged to push for reconciliation. I know me and my wife both wanted a divorce, but every time we went to court, he kept putting it off, said, if you guys don't make up within 6 months, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it was hard to get a divorce here in Indiana. I don't know how it is in New York with the no-fault state, he was saying, but Indiana sucked.
Say, on my mother, twin, this right here, love pup, I'm a big dog. Yeah, do not mistake that. You know what it is. Say.
I have no clue who this dude is, but he keeps popping up on my For You page, and I can't tell if he's serious or if he's just doing this to be a joke. But I've seen a lot of people who are really like that, and you think they're a joke, but no, they're dead serious. They think they're about that life. If anybody knows if he's just a joke, is he joking, or is this really his personality? Leave it in the comments, please.
Did y'all hear about what about to start in Virginia when it comes to the water? I told y'all this was coming, man. Check this out.
July 1st on Wednesday, we are going to need to move to voluntary water conservation measures because of the low rainfall we've seen. And, I know it's hard to imagine because we just had a huge downpour yesterday. We had flash flood warnings, but the reality is we just have not seen enough rain over time. And as we're monitoring the river flow, as we're monitoring the number of cubic feet per second that the James River is flowing through, we have had low rates over a 14-day period.
It's like he's trying to cover up for the United States Water Reserve. What I told you guys, this was coming because they're saying that water is way more important for AI than humans. Just the fact that the United States have yet to go public, and once it's due, it's going to go crazy because people see what's up with the water. This chart has been seeing non-stop motion ever since. You guys already know that artificial intelligence is not going to stop, and because of this, the water guzzling is not going to go stop. If you guys want to position yourself early, get yourself a Phantom wallet, and everything for this will be pinned in the comments below. This is the digital age, y'all. This is not financial advice. I'm only showing y'all how I do my research, man. Let's continue to get y'all. Peace out.
Well, you guys think about it. You think that this be the USWR is going to be worth some money? I don't know. I don't want to give no financial advice on here, but I think it'd be worth getting into because it does say that they need all that water for them data centers. There's been a lot of shit going on with these data centers. It takes a lot of water to run them. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments.
Holy shit! What is going on out here, guys? Look, there's a reflect. What is this? Huh? What is this, guys? I told you the A's are in the W. At this point, I'm hoping that this is AI because there's no way this could be real. People are saying that they're here and they're not going nowhere. Why we gotta see them now, guys? Something is going on here, guys. Now listen, I want to think this is AI, bro. I want to think that. But who's coming up with these ideas? This is what's making people think that this is real. But clearly it's not. Shut up! This is wild, bro. Look at this thing. I don't even know what to name it. I don't know what to call it because it's never been seen before. I just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Obviously, this is AI. I don't know what this thing is. All I know, if this thing ever popped out of water when I was on the water, I'll straight lay it down and be for real. I don't know what this is. Let me know if you know what this is.
I want to talk for a minute. I think tiny aliens are way more terrifying than giant ones. We've all seen War of the Worlds and Aliens and Independence Day, and there's these big, huge giants. Everyone talks about giant aliens. Even look at the recent sightings around the United States. Think about Miami, think about Vegas. Those are both giant aliens. Every depiction of ancient astronauts, they're huge. Obviously, the reptilians are not small beings. I didn't want them to stay too long and then me risk getting bit, but movies have been trying to warn us for years. Critters, gremlins, ghoulies, tiny monsters that invade cities. And think about it, they don't need giant ships. They just need a little ship that could go undetected. And they don't need a big giant hole to get in your house. They just need a little hole, like what a rat comes through. All around the world, people have been reporting tiny humanoid beings for centuries. Not just one culture, lots of them. They all have stories about little people. It's strange that cultures separated by oceans all ended up telling stories about small, intelligent creatures living just out of sight. And maybe they just live underground because there is enormous cave systems beneath the earth that we've barely explored. Miles and miles of tunnels, underground rivers, underground ecosystems that never see sunlight. And every time scientists think that they've mapped out everything, they find a new cave because you're never going to map out all of those caves underneath the earth. So maybe little beings aren't actually aliens. They didn't come from another world. They're just here beneath us. Maybe some of those reports of kids having invisible friends are actually not invisible. They're just tiny beings that slip away before you see them. And those underground beings most likely are running an underground sock economy because no one can explain why those keep coming up missing. But growing up watching shitty movies from the 80s, the little monsters are the ones that freak me out way more than the bigger monsters. The gate, critters, ghoulies, gremlins. But I want y'all to remember, right underneath your feet right now could be a tunnel, the little guy inside. I want to talk for.
Well, you guys think? Believe in aliens? I believe there's something out here that we don't know about. Now, whether it's aliens or not, that's a whole nother topic there. But I do believe there's something out here that we have no clue what it is. And I think that this whole thing with the disclosure is them trying to slowly ease us into it to make us think that it's fake when it's really real. You know, ever since this AIs came out, it's hard to tell what's real, what's fake. What's the motive? Are they planning it to make us think that the aliens are real? Or are they doing it to make us think, oh, the government's lying, they ain't real? It's hard. That's why I can't stand a liar. And our government's a straight liar.
They're not data centers. They're crypto mining facilities, but they can't tell you because then you'll want some of the crypto.
I know by now that y'all have seen this, that Donald Trump has signed not one, but 2 executive orders to bring in artificial intelligence to quantum technologies innovation. And because quantum is about making things better, and Donald Trump wants America to be #1 in quantum and in crypto, he wants us to take a stake in what's going on. Here it is right over here. AAIF, the American AI Fund. This thing has been going crazy. Have you guys seen how far artificial intelligence comes just in a few years? Imagine what's coming next with AGI. And this is exactly the reason why Trump has been meeting with these AI tech giants to talk about how we can benefit from this in the project I told you. And here it is right over here. It has been climbing astronomically, and it is not too late, man. If you guys want to check this out, get you a Phantom wallet, and everything for this will be pinned in the comments below. This is not financial advice. I'm only showing you how to do my research, man. We are in the digital age, man. Let's continue to get it, y'all. Peace.
You know, that's the first time I've heard anybody say something like that. And that would make sense. If we're about to go to the digital currency, they would have to have some big data centers like that, but they ain't going to tell it's crypto mining. That's the first time that's ever popped in my head. That was a pretty good point, I think. What do you guys think? Leave a comment.
There's a lot of them, and people are freaking out about the next scary pandemic. So I'm going to do things a little differently this time and debunk these theories. Did you catch that algorithm? So as any great theory, it starts with The Simpsons in episode 19 of season 23, initially aired in 2012 about, well, just listen to this.
Look, that's our ship!
Purple! The purple tongues allegedly pointing to the hantavirus infection sometimes appearing purple, with symptoms including purple spots on the skin and mucosa membrane, which is what our tongues are. And in that very same episode, this happens.
An emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly Pandora virus is spreading rapidly.
A virus? A virus outbreak on a cruise ship that everyone is now stuck on. Exactly how the hantavirus outbreak started in April 2026, with people panicking aboard, and Bart even rubs it in our faces.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
Which is clearly just a massive coincidence. Debunked, moving on. There's this travel influencer aboard the ship who cried on camera about the cruise outbreak. The same guy who also pushed boosters really hard during the previous pandemic. What some people would incorrectly refer to as a crisis actor, which are all just meaningless connections and more coincidences. There's this tweet from 2022 posted by some account with only 4 lifetime tweets saying that coronavirus will end in 2023, which he called, and that 2026 will be the start of hantavirus, which fortunately Grok actually told us is just a coincidence. This other tweet from 2012 talking about someone overhearing someone say that if you really wanted to make a pandemic, make hantavirus human transmissible. Coincidence. Another tweet from 2012 from someone saying they watched the X-Files and he knows that hantavirus is how the alien invasion starts, which is just an incredibly accurate coincidence given the timing of UFO disclosure. There's the scene from the X-Files from an episode that initially aired in the year 2000, and just listen to this one very carefully.
Are you familiar with the hantavirus, Agent Mulder? According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus. A plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure.
Hantavirus, national emergency, biological warfare. Obvious coincidences. There's this Economist 2026 cover photo with needles all over it. Someone even divided it into 12 sections to create a monthly calendar that lines up with global events. This one, people are clearly just reading into things too much and overthinking it. These commemorative US Mint coins from 2020 featuring bats and from 2026 featuring a ship, exactly where COVID and Hanta are said to have originated from in the exact years that they both started. Nothing to see here just another coincidence. Someone pointed out that the rollout of every major cell tower technology from radio all the way to 6G just so happened to line up with some major global outbreak. Coincidence. Hantavirus is also listed as one of the side effects of Pfizer's COVID vaccine with a total of 1,233 side effects listed on page 33. Which, don't worry guys, the news debunked this one and we know we can trust them, right? Then there's all the 33 coincidences. 33 years ago, there was a mysterious hantavirus outbreak with exactly 33 cases in the Four Corners region. 33 years later, the same virus erupted recently on a 33-day Atlantic cruise with 3 deaths. Between COVID's patient 0 on November 17th, 2019 to the first Hanta case on April 5th, 2026 was exactly 333 weeks and 0 days. Do the math. 333 days before the first Hanta case, Pope Leo XIV was elected. In crazy online theories, the number 33 is the highest degree in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, symbolizing secret elite control over world events. And 333, the number sealing its fate in time. Numerology stuff, but this number comes up a lot in the news if you start paying attention. Just a weird coincidence. Hantavirus is also apparently the same disease that took the life of Betsy Arakawa in 2025, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman, like Gene Hacker Man, implying that mRNA injections can modify your genetics and hijack your body's natural cells, which is totally fake and not true and just another coincidence. Then there's this article blatantly talking about the next pandemic being hantavirus, written in 2021. Clearly a coincidence. It's almost like all this ruckus and stir about hantavirus is intentional, orchestrated. It kind of seems like they want us to talk about it, oppose it, be scared of it, theorize about it, point out all these crazy coincidences about it, to divide us and create uproar for whatever they have planned next, be it centralized control, one world government, digital compliance, you name it, which is obviously not true, just baseless speculation and overthinking. And also, did I mention just a coincidence? There's a lot of...
What do you guys feel about that? If we had another pandemic and they said it was the hantavirus, would you guys go through and do it the same way we did in the C lockdowns?
9 people born with real superpowers. Forget Marvel. These are the real mutants walking among us. Humans whose biology rewrote the rules of what's possible. Number 9, Wim Hof. Dutchman. Wim Hof can swim under ice, run marathons in the Arctic, and control his body temperature at will. Scientists at Radboud University confirmed he can consciously influence his autonomic nervous system, something once thought impossible. Hof's blood chemistry changes when he meditates, preventing hypothermia and even suppressing inflammation. Number 8, Daniel Tammet. Born with savant syndrome and synesthesia, Daniel Tammet can see numbers as colors, shapes, and textures. He recited pi to 22,514 digits and learned Icelandic in a week. Neurologists studied him for years, confirming his rare combination of autism and extraordinary mathematical visualization, a brain literally wired differently. Number 7, Ashlyn Blocker. Born in Georgia, USA, Ashlyn Blocker has a condition called congenital insensitivity to pain. She doesn't feel heat, cuts, or injuries at all, which sounds like a superpower until you realize how dangerous it is. Scientists at the University of Florida have studied her genetic mutation, hoping to unlock new treatments for chronic pain. Number 6, Jill Price. Imagine remembering every single day of your life, every smell, every word, every outfit you wore. That's Jill Price, the first person ever diagnosed with hyperthymesia, or highly superior autobiographical memory. Neuroscientists at UC Irvine confirmed her ability to recall any date with eerie accuracy, like scrolling through time itself. Number 5, Natasha Demkina. At 10 years old, Natasha Demkina claimed she could see inside people's bodies, identifying tumors, broken bones, and organ damage. Skeptical doctors tested her in Moscow and later in London. While scientists remained divided, several radiologists reported that her diagnoses matched medical imaging results more often than chance. Number 4, Isao Machi, master swordsman. Isao Machi can slice a BB pellet fired at 200 miles per hour with a katana. Researchers from the BBC and Guinness World Records filmed him in ultra-slow motion. His reaction speed was faster than a trained athlete's ability to even see the projectile. Scientists at the University of Tokyo call his reflexes neurologically optimized beyond normal limits. Number 3, Conchetta Antico. Australian artist Conchetta Antico possesses tetrachromacy, an extra color receptor in her eyes. While most humans see about 1 million shades, she can distinguish nearly 100 million. Researchers at the University of California confirmed her rare X chromosome mutation, explaining why her paintings capture colors others can't even perceive. Number 2, Stephen Wiltshire. Diagnosed with autism, Stephen Wiltshire can look at a city skyline once, then draw it perfectly from memory. After a 20-minute helicopter ride over New York City, he recreated the entire skyline with every building in proportion. His brain's visual memory capacity is so extreme, neuroscientists use him as a case study in spatial recall. Number 1, Veronica Sider. In the 1970s, researchers at the University of Stuttgart tested Veronica Sider, who claimed she could see detail from over a mile away. Tests showed her vision acuity was over 20 times better than normal human eyesight. While rare, her case is still cited in ophthalmology journals as one of the highest visual acuity records ever recorded. So here's a quick question. If you could choose one of these real-life powers, which would it be, and how would you use it? 9 people.
Well, what's your guys' answer on that? It's exactly what I was thinking. Which one would you choose? Have you ever met anybody with them kind of powers? I've met one person that lived in this town that had the powers, if you want to call it powers, but he couldn't feel pain. That's what he was known for all through this town, because he didn't feel pain. I think that'd be the one I'd take if I had a choice.
You turn on the TV.
We have the greatest economy actually ever in history.
You change the channel.
771,000 Americans sleeping on the street tonight. Most of them don't even remember the last time they went to bed full. 150,000 of them are kids.
You turn it off. And you just sit there because the math isn't adding up anymore. You work full-time, maybe 2 jobs. You haven't taken a real vacation in years. You drive a car that's about to die. You haven't been to the dentist in 3 years. And you're still broke at the end of every month. Your grandfather bought a house on 1 income, raised 4 kids, took the family to the beach every summer, retired with a pension. You can't even afford the rent on a 1-bedroom. So when the president says, we have the greatest economy in history, who exactly is he talking about? Because it isn't you. It isn't the kids in the cars. It isn't your friend who works full-time at the warehouse and still lives with his mom at 34. Somebody is winning. It just isn't us. And it didn't happen by accident. Let me show you a number that should make you angry. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. In 1965, the average American CO made 21 times more than the average worker. 21 times. That sounds like a lot. It isn't. Today, if the worker makes 50 grand a year, that same ratio would mean the CO takes home about $1 million. 60 years ago, that's how it worked. The CO had a nicer house, a nicer car. The worker had a house and a car. The system was imperfect, but it worked. People got by. In 2024, the average CEO at America's largest companies made 281 times more than the average worker. For the 100 biggest companies that pay the lowest wages, the Walmarts, the Amazons, the McDonald's, the ratio is 632 to 1. Let me put that in plain English. It would take the average American worker, starting in the year 1740, working every single year through the American Revolution, the Civil War, both World Wars, the Great Depression, the Cold War, and all the way to today, almost 300 years of full-time labor to earn what a single CO makes in 1 year. Adjusted for inflation, CO pay has gone up 878% since 1978. Worker pay has gone up 4.5%. That's it. Half a century, 4.5%. In the same country, in the same companies, at the same time. Here's where it gets weird. There's a single rule the government quietly changed in 1982. Almost nobody talks about it, but it explains everything you just saw. You probably think CO pay going up like that is normal. That is how capitalism works. That COs are just worth more now. Here's the part they don't teach you. For most of American history, when a company made money, it did 3 things with the profit. It paid the workers, it reinvested in the business, and it gave some back to shareholders. That was the deal. In 1982, the government changed a rule. They made it legal for companies to use their profits to buy back their own stock. Before 1982, companies that bought back their own stock could be charged with market manipulation, so almost no one did it. After 1982, it became the most common thing a company does. When a company buys its own stock, the price goes up. When the price goes up, the CEO's stock options get more valuable. And guess what the CEO's pay is tied to? The stock price. So instead of paying workers more or investing in the future, companies use their profits to make their own stock more expensive, which makes the CEOs richer. Just 100 companies, the ones that pay you garbage wages, spent $644 billion buying back their own stock between 2019 and 2024. You turn on the TV.
Did anything in that video there surprise anybody? Because it sure didn't me. I mean, really, honestly, that's crazy. Because it does seem like minimum wage here in Indiana. Minimum wage has been at the same price from when I got my first job when I was 16 years old. And I'm 42 now. Now that's crazy. Same minimum wage all that time. $7.25 an hour. They think somebody could live off of that. Here in Indiana, $7.25. Crazy. Leave a comment down there. What's your minimum wage in your state or where you're at?
They perfected it. They erased it. A working technology that could carry 100 tons across the ocean without a single runway. Disappeared from every country on Earth in the same decade, and nobody alive remembers it existed.
The most efficient long-distance transport ever invented vanished, and we just accepted it. The collective memory of this species is genuinely concerning.
That's not right. The Hindenburg blew up. That's why airships ended.
One ship, Cleveland, 1937. Lakehurst, New Jersey. 35 of 97 people died. Tragic. But airplanes crash every year. We still fly them. The cars kill millions. Nobody bans them. One disaster doesn't erase an entire industry unless somebody wants it erased.
A 245-meter airship caught on camera burning in color film at the perfect angle. Giggity, that footage didn't just kill an industry, it looked produced.
The Graf Zeppelin fell, 1928. 590 successful flights, 1.6 million kilometers, crossed the Atlantic 143 times, carried passengers in 2 bed cabins with hot meals, 9 years, 0 casualties, then suddenly too dangerous.
9 years of perfect record erased by 30 seconds of newsreel. Math doesn't work, narrative does.
Now ask yourself the deeper question, fella. Why specifically the 1950s? Hindenburg was 1937, but airships didn't fully disappear until late 50s and early 60s. The U.S. kept flying them until 1962. Why that exact window?
What happened in the 1950s that suddenly required civilians to stop flying low and slow over everything? Giggity, that's the question they don't want you to ask.
Antarctic Treaty, quagmire, 1959. The most heavily restricted territory on Earth. No independent flights, no private exploration, no civilian access. Locked down by 12 nations originally, 56 today. And right around that exact window, the only civilian aircraft that could flow quietly over restricted territory for days was discontinued worldwide.
You don't lock down empty ice, and you don't ground the only flying camera that could check on it.
Wait, are you saying they killed airships to keep people away from the South?
I'm saying the timing isn't comfortable, Cleveland. 1946, Operation High Jump, largest naval expedition to Antarctica ever. Came back early, lost men. Admiral Byrd later describes aircraft able to fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. 1957, Byrd's diaries published, describing a hidden land beyond the pole. 1959, treaty locks the continent. 1962, last civilian airships grounded in America.
5 dates, 1 direction. Giggity, that's not coincidence, that's choreography.
The Australian fence, fella, officially built to stop rabbits, 5,600 kilometers long and 3 meters tall in places. Some sections electrified. Penalties for trespass, $40,000 fines and prison. Researchers online claim Google Maps shows underwater structures running south from Australia toward Antarctica. The official answer is always rabbits.
The most expensive rabbit control infrastructure in human history. The rabbits must be elite.
And here's the part that closes the case, fella. Airplanes follow flight paths. Ships follow shipping lanes. Drones are tracked. Airships go anywhere, float anywhere, see anywhere. Slow enough to record, quiet enough to investigate. They were the last civilian eye that didn't ask permission.
The technology that didn't need permission disappeared. The technology that requires permission for everything replaced it. Giggity. Somebody picked which sky we were allowed to see from. Every outdated technology you can think of had one thing in common. It worked without asking.
Here's what I actually think, fella. The Hindenburg was the excuse, not the reason. The reason was control. Airships gave civilians a view of the planet authorities couldn't manage.
They didn't kill the technology, they monopolized the view. Now the only people who see the planet from above are the ones deciding what you're allowed to see.
Because the real question was never why airships failed. It was why a working technology, perfectly safe, infinitely useful, already operating at industrial scale, was buried at exactly the moment someone needed the sky to themselves. They had it. They perfected.
Well, you guys think about that. If them was around nowadays, would you guys take a ride in them? I ain't never even been in an airplane, so I don't think I'd get in one of them things. But it does seem like they took anything away that people could use without them controlling. It's crazy. The more you look and think about life, how it is, and how the government runs things, yeah, a lot of stuff ain't no surprise.
Hey, what's up, America? Why are so many data centers being built in America? Why is there such urgency to build data centers? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. An entire society breaking their neck to build data centers at lightning speed. We've been asking the federal government to build high-speed rail networks nationwide, not a peep from them. We've been asking the federal government to help feed the poor, not a dollar. But when it comes to data centers, we have World War II level movement from the government. So what could possibly be the fucking urgency to build so many data centers? Why? Why are they doing this? Well, I think you know why they're doing it. They openly say it. It's to build a nationwide surveillance and monitoring network of the American people. You, every click, every conversation, every turn of the wheel of your vehicle will be monitored and put into a data center for processing. Oh, it's true. They're trying to train AI robotics to better your world, don't get me wrong, but a majority of these data centers are nothing but monitoring and surveillance tool systems. This will be used for nothing more than a nationwide policing tool against your behavior. Oh, and don't forget to target ads at you so you can buy shit. Oh yeah, that's part of it too. Huge advertising networks going into this also. So when I looked into the reasons as to why they're building these data centers at such a fast pace, this is what I got. Quote, hyperscale data centers are used for pervasive monitoring, predictive policing, and economic control of the American population, particularly once currency is digitized. They're saying digitization of currency will be publicly pursued for efficiency, anti-fraud, and here we go, inclusion monitoring of finances, meaning every purchase, transfer, or earning event will be logged with metadata as to who, where, and what happened. And when it comes to policing, algorithms flag, quote, suspicious patterns, such as suspicious travel to certain locations, can trigger automatic holds and alerts to police. And of course, here's the worst part, as if the other one wasn't. Funds can be restricted to specific users. People can be geo-fenced, time limited, or have their rights or finances revoked based on compliance scores. Yes, compliance scores, social credit, both for your behavior, your finance, and fucking monitoring where you go and what you do. Now, several of these companies that are building data centers say basically if you're doing nothing wrong, you don't have to worry. And that these low compliance scores will only be enacted on bad actors. So what's considered a bad actor? What's considered a bad actor when Democrats or progressives take over and they add hate speech to this? Or if Republicans do something with monitoring the poor? You see, politicians will also add their own unique flavor to these data centers. So when Democrats take over, you're going to have a compliance score as to your speech, monitoring you for hate and offense. And when Republicans take over, if you're not efficient enough or working hard enough, they'll penalize you for that too. And since eventually one of these days with these systems, your currency will probably be digitized, they'll use that as a tool of your compliance. Yeah, I bet you'll be shutting the fuck up and not protesting the government when they withhold your funds from you. You know, for your safety, right? Yeah, it's for your safety, of course. So make no mistake, this is not happening for convenience or to make your life easier. These systems are being built and integrated for your compliance and monitoring you. And that's just the government. Companies are going to be using these systems as well in order to perfectly target your behavior to sell to you. And you might be thinking, well, they're not going to get away with that. Bitch, they already have. They already did. They're doing it right now. And you are not fighting it enough because you're worried about your freedom and law. Oh, no. Did they give a fuck about your freedoms and laws when they made systems to monitor everything you do? No, of course not. So why do you give a shit about the laws they put on paper for you at this point? Hey, what's up, America?
Yeah, that's crazy. They're going to turn this into, you ain't even going to recognize American war. You ain't going to be able to spend $1 without them knowing. and they're going to take everybody who owes debt and they're going to put them in. Yeah, it's going to be bad. But right now is the time to figure out where you can make some money on this too. That's the thing. Anybody got any ideas? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'm always open to advice. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream right here because my camera's not keeping up with you. I know you guys see the difference. It's like it's behind on words. It ain't keeping up with them. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream right here. Let me know if you guys would rather see these kind of streams or the videos I've posted before this. If you guys would, don't forget, please leave a like and subscribe, comment, share. Try to get me out there. Y'all have a good one. See you some other time. Don't know when.